Hi, my name is Tacie Bell. This is my wellness plan for SES 1120, section 70. So just a quick little summary about what this project was. We took two different assessments, one at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, with the 7 dimensions of wellness that I didn't even know existed. Which is kind of crazy. I really enjoyed this class. I feel like I learned a lot about myself, or maybe I already knew this about myself, and I found ways to cope and deal and face my problems head on. So I was really intrigued by this class. But the 7 dimensions of wellness include emotional, environmental, intellectual, occupational, physical, social, and spiritual. With that, like I said before, I didn't even know that there were 7 components of wellness, especially before I started this class. But seeing my progress has really just kind of, patted myself on the back. I feel very proud for whether it be a small progress or a big jump. I'm just really proud of myself and what I've been able to utilize outside of the classroom. But quick little rundown. So for my emotional wellness, I knew that one was probably going to be my lowest scoring, just because I have a really hard time with dealing with emotions that aren't typically happy. I used to be a very negative person, and I kind of swore off by that. So I try and stay happy and fun and bubbly and positive. I want to be the one that spreads positivity rather than bringing everybody down, because I have been that person and it didn't feel great. So I wasn't surprised by my numbers. However, I've seen some growth. It was 17 at first, and now it's 20. So I'm really proud about that. I feel like what areas really need the most help with would be my stress levels. Once I get really stressed, I tend to shut down. So one thing that I plan on doing is like taking a moment, finding a constant, counting. I've read a couple things that counting really helps, just lower the stress levels and lower your heart rate, and deep breathing exercises, just really get focused on the now rather than stressing about what's to come. So involved with that, my environmental wellness at first was an 18 and now it's a 24. I feel like that's great progress. I realized that the things I do in my everyday life might not seem like a big deal, but every action has a reaction. And so I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part, and maybe being able to, like being something bigger than myself, doing something bigger than me, or like for others. So one thing I would like to do more would be conserving water. I'm real big about that already, but I do realize that I probably do about like a load of laundry every day when I could just pick a day out of the week and just get the loads done. Or taking shorter showers, or not letting the faucet run while I'm brushing my teeth. So that's just like one little thing that I plan on utilizing in my life, or in the weeks to come, just for the environmental aspect of it. So going on, we have intellectual wellness. Scoring first was 20. The second scoring was 25. So, that is a pretty big jump. I would say 5 points. That's a big one. I like to be challenged. I don't find that intimidating. I feel good with constructive criticism. If I'm in the wrong, prove me wrong. Like give me a different opinion, give me a second opinion, a second view. I am open to those things. But one thing I want to start doing is, I'm a really bad reader, so I'll start reading and then I'll get bored and I'll stop. Whether it be like poetry, nonfiction, self-help books. I just want to be I want to start reading a little bit more and stimulating my mind a little bit more in that aspect. So that's one thing I plan on doing for the intellectual side of things. Going on to occupational, I am a bartender, so a bartender slash server, so a lot of my job consists of multitasking, and sometimes I take on too much. Like, I'll grab 12 tickets, two of them might have only just one thing on it, but the others might have two, three, four, five. And then I find myself very overwhelmed, and then that's when the stress starts to kick in. However, starting from here on out, I want to just being able like to give myself like a brain break in a way, and not taking so much on that I just can't. I tend to find myself coming home really drained and really exhausted, and I just want to like make sure I focus on that a little bit more, so I can compartmentalize work and home rather than taking it home with me. So going on, we have physical wellness. Now, I scored a 21 at first, and I now scored a 23, which isn't a big jump. It is improvement. However, I grew up an athlete. I've been an athlete since I was 3 years old, and so I know the impact that my physical health has on my mental, physical, or environmental, spiritual, all that stuff. So I know it plays hand in hand. I've always been the one to want to work out. I'm not a runner, but one thing I really want to start doing, especially in the area that I lack in, is my sleep. I have sleep apnea and I have sleep insomnia. So I want to be able to set like a bedtime. I know iPhones now, you can create a bedtime and it turns off all your apps from this point to this point. But I really want to stress on getting to bed at a certain time, like before 12, and waking up a little bit earlier, because you honestly do feel rejuvenated and your body needs that. And I feel like I neglect my body in that way. So I want to be able to get better sleep and then potentially like start feeling better about myself, physical wise. Like I said, I've always been fit. I still go to the gym all the time, but the sleep aspect of that is something that I really want to start hitting hard on. So next we have social wellness. At first I scored a 25 and then I scored a 27. So a small jump, but I'm real big on investing energy that's going to invest back into me. And like I said before, I want to be positive, and in a way I want to be a safe space for somebody. Like if somebody feels comfortable enough coming to talk to me about something that they're going through, like I want to be able to help them. I might not always say the right things or know what to say, but if being nice and being kind is the only thing that they have holding on to that day, like I'm okay with being that for somebody. And like I said before, I have a great support system. So on days when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I just need to talk to somebody, I can easily call my mom or my twin or any of my siblings and just kind of vent. I have a great partner right now. He's very, very kind, very selfless, and I kind of aspire to be like that in a way. But I want to be able to, I want to be able to reach out and not ask or need anything. I just want to be there for them, so that's something that I really want to work on, in my social aspect of life. And lastly, we have spiritual wellness. I scored a 23 at first, and then the second time I did it, I scored a 24. I grew up in a Christian household, so I do believe in a higher being and a higher power. And one thing that I really struggle with when it comes to my faith would be like reading my Bible. I really want to hit that on the head a lot more, because it sets the tone for the day. You're ready to take on the day. The world and earthly things tend to bring a lot of negativity and a lot of bad, and that's what this is. Sin is inevitable, but I just want to be able to have my body of armor on before I get out of bed in the morning and before I take on the day. But so with all these different levels, I've realized that they all play a hand in each other. Like, and our mentality is such a strong tool that we need to utilize, because it's the most powerful thing we have. It's the only thing we have. And if we're thinking negatively and we're thinking that I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that in such a negative way, you're going to start to believe that, because your mind is so powerful. And I feel like all of these aspects really just all play together. They have a hand in each other. Like you can't if I get overwhelmed at work, that draws into the emotional aspect of my life. And I just want to be able to recognize what I'm going through when I'm going through it and deal with it head on. Like I said, I've seen progress. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm really excited to use what I learned in class in my days to come. So thank you so much for hearing me out. I had a great time in this class, and I hope you have a great rest of your year.